Very good afternoon, dear students. So, we have already started unit number 5, microbial degradation of xenobiotics. In the previous class, we have discussed what do you mean by xenobiotics, what are recalcitrant compound, what do you mean by POPs, persistent organic pollutants, and what do you mean by biomagnifications. Now, we are going to discuss the detailed aspects of what is the role of microorganism for the degradation of xenobiotics. And we are going to discuss the most potential POPs and their degradation mechanism, okay, by microbial uh, flora or the microorganisms. And the first topic mentioned in your syllabus, recalcitrant and recalcitrant hydrocarbons and nitro aromatic compounds. Okay, so we are going to discuss what do you mean by recalcitrant halocarbons and what are nitro aromatic compounds, and what is the role of microbial degradation of this particular compound, what is the role of microorganism towards the degradation of this particular component. And you know that we have already discussed recalcitrants are, these are the compounds which are man-made, that is artificially synthesized, that is not naturally present, and that is commonly present in the ecosystem. They are known as persistent pollutants. Okay, and the microorganisms are able to degrade many types of xenobiotic compound. I have told you lot of conventional approaches are available, but these conventional approaches, chemical and physical methods, have a lot of shortfalls and lacuna. That is why microbial based aspects are very important. And these xenobiotics or recalcitrants are which are resistant to biodegradation and thereby persist in the environment for a very long time. That is why it is known as recalcitrant component. And what are the major reason for the xenobiotic act as a recalcitrant? Why these particular components are recalcitrant? The main important the aspects are, first of all, they are not recognized as the substrate by the existing degradative enzymes. So microorganisms, they can produce various enzymes or various enzymes are available, but these enzymes cannot act on xenobiotic because they cannot consider xenobiotic compounds as their substrate. Then another mechanism, another reason is they are highly stable. Okay, as I said yesterday, they are chemically and biologically stable. They are inert due to the presence of substituted functional groups such as halogens, nitrosulfonate, amino, methoxy, and carbamyl groups. Okay, so these are the important aspects, and they are highly insoluble in water. Okay, they are highly insoluble in water, but they can adsorb to external matrices such as soil debris, and they are highly toxic or gives rise to the toxic product due to the microbial activity. Microorganism can come and act, but they will be able to produce the toxic components, and their large molecular size prevent their entry to the microbial cell, because microbial cell, the cytoplasmic membrane, the membrane is highly selectively permeable in nature. This component cannot enter to the microbial cell. Then the next one is their inability to induce the synthesis of degrading enzymes. Okay, the degrading enzymes cannot be synthesized, and these components cannot induce for the synthesis of synthesis of various enzymes. So these are the major reason of xenobiotics as the recalcitrant component. And what are the major types of recalcitrant component? They are recalcitrant halocarbons, nitroaromatic components, polychlorinated biphenyls or PCBs, dioxins, synthetic polymers, alkyl benzyl sulfonate, and petroleum hydrocarbon. These are the major components. You can see all these terms in your syllabus. Okay, that is what they have mentioned in your syllabus. Okay, so now we are going to discuss one aspects in various classes. So today we are going to discuss the recalcitrant and recalcitrant halocarbons and nitroaromatic components and their degradation mechanism. And first one, before we are going to discuss why these components are structure, what are their structural features of this recalcitrant that is resistant to the microbial degradation. Why these are resistant to the degradation, especially microorganisms. The major aspects are the presence of halogen in the place of hydrogen in the molecule. So, recalcitrant halocarbons, they have the halogen, okay, in presence of a hydrogen, okay, and this there is a formation of a carbon hydrogen bond which are highly stable and its cleavage require considerable energy. So this is the first fact, the presence of halogen, okay, such as chlorine, bromine, iodine or fluorine in presence of a hydrogen, and there is a carbon halogen bond. Carbon halogen bond is extremely tough to break. It requires lot of energy to break. And the substitution of hydrogen by other groups such as nitro, sulfonate, methoxy, amino and carbamyl groups, okay. Sometimes instead of halogen it can be methoxy or amino or carbamyl or sulfonate or nitro groups, okay. And the next one is the presence of cyclic structures, okay. They can exist in the form of an aromatic compound, okay. Cycloalkane and heterocyclic components are very commonly present, okay. And they are further the presence of the branched or linear chains, okay. The structural features, they are having the branched or linear chains are also present. These are the major structural features of the recalcitrant that cannot be acted for a microbial degradation. Then next one, recalcitrant halocarbon. We are going to discuss the recalcitrant halocarbon. So halocarbons, halo means that is halogen, carbo means carbohydrate, organic component, okay. So they are the chemicals in which one or more carbon atoms are linked covalently, covalent bond with one or more halogen atom, okay. So one or more carbon atom are linked with one or more halogen atom such as fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine. Thus it is known as a halocarbon. This is one of the most potential pollutant in the world, okay. And the formation of this halocarbon resulted in the formation of what? The organic fluorine, organochlorine, organobromine and organoiodine, okay. Organofluorine, organochlorine, organobromine and organoiodine are the major types of recalcitrant halocarbon, okay. And the the chlorine halocarbons are the most common organochlorides, okay, and they are known as organochlorides, okay. They are commonly present in the ecosystem for very long time. And these halocarbons are classified based on the hydrogen atom that is attached with the halogen atom. Based on this particular fact, they are classified into different groups. One is haloalkane, next one is haloalkene, next one is haloaromatics, okay. So haloalkanes are the compounds with the carbon atoms are linked by hydrogen by a single bond, okay. Then haloalkanes are the components with one or more double bonds between the carbon atoms, okay, and they have the halo part also. The haloaromatics, they are the compounds with the carbon linked in one or more aromatic rings which are delocalized donut shaped pi cloud. They are having the pi electrons, okay. So that is what is the importance of haloaromatics. And these halogen atoms, the halocarbons are known as the substituents. Okay, the halogen act as the substituents in the case of a halocarbon, and they are the atoms substituted for hydrogen atom, the substituents for a hydrogen, that is known as the halogen. Okay, and these halocarbons are prepared in many ways that do not involve directly substitution of halogen for the hydrogen. Okay, so don't think like it is simply a substituents of a hydrogen. It is not like that. And we are going to discuss what are the major aspects, the microbial degradation of these halocarbons. Okay, and the main mechanism of halocarbon degradations are three important things. Okay, number one, dehalogenation or reductive halogenation. Second one, fragmentation. Third one, mineralization. So these are the major aspects of the microbial degradation of halocarbons. And the first one, dehalogenation or reductive halogenation. And these are the removal of a halogen substituents such as chlorine, bromine or fluorine at the same time and adding electron, that is what is known as reductive halogenation, reduction. Okay, addition of electrons to the molecules. Okay, and you know that that is the another important aspect. So this is the minor change in the functional group attached to an organic compound, such as the substitution of a hydroxyl group for a chlorine group. Okay, substitution of a hydroxyl group for a chlorine group. Okay, then the next one is the fragmentation, that is the actual breakdown of the organic components into organic fragments, such as in such a way that the original molecules could be reconstructed, the actual breakdown of the organic component, that is known as fragmentation. That is the next important mechanism by microbial means. Next one is the mineralization, the complete degradation of an organic component to minerals. Okay, so that is known as mineralization. So here we can see the biochemical mechanism. So here we can see an example of a halocarbon. Here you can see the a six-membered aromatic component. There are two halogen atoms and there is an oxygen. Okay, that is 2,4-phenoxy acetic acid, this particular component. Okay, 2,4-chlorophenoxy acetic acid. Okay, and this is interacted with the water, and here you can see. So what you can see, the chlorine is getting replaced. Okay, chlorine is removed and this water molecule will be dissociated, H plus OH minus, and H will be the OH will be simply attached instead of chlorine. Okay, and the chlorine will be simply degraded instead of chlorine. Okay, and you will be having this particular molecule. Okay, here you can see completely chlorine is removed. Okay, and instead of chlorine, hydroxyl groups are substituted. Okay, the next one is the fragmentation. So here you can see the fragmentation, the same components will be undergoing H plus OH minus, and but you can see this become fragment. Instead of going and attaching to the chlorine, this molecule will going and attaching to this, cleaving will happen here. Okay, so that you can see CHOH and COOH. Okay, and you can see then instead of this, H will go and bind H plus OH minus, OH will go and bind along with the CH2, and this H will go and bind along with this oxygen, so that you will be having this one. So it will be less toxic compared to the parent component. Then mineralization, the same components will be completely degraded into carbon dioxide, chlorine and water. Okay, these are the three important mechanism. And in more clearly, the mechanism can be, we can discussed. The first step is there is an elimination of halogen group. Okay, removal of a halogen group, whether it is a chlorine or bromine or iodine, whatever it is. Okay, majority of the case it will be chlorine, and the degradation of the non-halogenated component once the removal of the halogen. Okay, first the removal of halogen, then the non-halogenated component. Okay, then how the step is happening? First one is the removal of the halogen molecule, that will be directly or indirectly involving the removal of hydrogen halide. Okay, so hydrogen halide, that, and you can or involve the substitution of halogen instead of by the halogen can be substituted by hydrogen or hydroxyl group or thiol group, etc. Okay, or direct halogen removal and produce a double bond and relatively very less in the nature. Okay, then the substitution of halogen by hydroxyl group, that is very common in the case of an aliphatic or aromatic compound. So there are four main important mechanisms. So whatever we have discussed, we can see here the direct elimination of hydrogen halide. Here you can see this hydrogen halide CH, here is a chlorine. This is known as hydrogen halide, and the chlorine is removed. Okay, and you can see, so once the chlorine is removed, the C single bond C will be converted into C double bond C, and you can see CH double bond CH, and one H is gone, and they produce hydrochloric acid HCl. That is one important mechanism. Next one is the substituents by the hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen will be added. Here you can see this is instead of this chlorine will be degraded, and hydrogen will be go and substituted in this particular portion, so that you will be having CH2 as the product. Okay, and chlorine will be able to you can see that is going out. Okay, the third one is the substitution by hydroxyl group instead of addition of hydroxyl group. Okay, here is hydrogen, instead of hydrogen there is hydroxyl group. So here you can see CH2 and CHCl. Instead of CHCl you can see the hydroxyl group here and plus Cl minus. Okay, CH2 CHOH Cl. Okay, so hydroxyl group, substitution by OH groups. And next one is the substitution of a thiol group actually. Okay, SCOA. Okay, coenzyme thiol group. Okay, here you can see the CH2, the thiol groups have been incorporated instead of chlorine. Okay, chlorine is removed, and then thiol groups are simply CH2 CHSCOA and chlorine. Okay, substitution by thiol group. Okay, methyl or SCOA, etc. So these are the common mechanism of halogenated hydrocarbon. Then certain aerobic organisms also can perform this particular task by the addition of hydroxyl group by an enzyme called dioxygenase. Sometimes you can see monoxygenase. Instead of hydroxyl group they will add an oxygen. Okay, so here it is an aerobic degradation. So what will happen? Majority of the case, as I said, instead of chlorine, hydroxyl group will be added by a dioxygenase enzyme, and they will be yielding a chlorinated a compound called catechol. Okay, and this cleavage of the ring by ortho or meta position, the cleavage will happen, and okay, and the meta cleavage will result the halogen not being eliminated from the aliphatic product, which may lead to an accumulation of the toxic metabolite. So we will discuss that. If the position of the halogen in the meta position, you know that in the 6-membered ring you will be having 3 different position: an ortho position, para position, meta position. Ortho and para there is not a problem, but the chlorine, the chloride residues, if it is in the meta position, then it will be a problematic case. Okay, that will contribute lot of toxin. Okay, then the elimination of halogen from the straight chain aliphatic product. Okay, then the degradation of the aliphatic hydrocarbon. So that is the mechanism of aerobic degradation of halogenated components. Okay, then the next one is the meta effect. As I told, the meta effect, you can see if the position of the halogen, if it in the ortho and para, okay, and if it in the case of meta, then there is a lot of difference in the degradation. Okay, that we can simply identify the minor structural changes difference. Okay, the minor structural difference can have a major effect on the biodegradability of the halocarbons. Okay, an example we can see 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. Okay, that is known as 2,4-D. The second position and the fourth position there is a chlorine. Okay, this is phenoxyacetic acid. This is phenyl ring. This is acetic acid. Okay, so phenoxyacetic acid. And you can see that the chlorine atoms are in the ortho and the para position. This is ortho and para position. But if the chlorine atom, if it is there is in a meta position, either here or here, then what will happen? It will cause a significant problem in the degradation. Okay, the first case, if the chlorine atom is in the ortho position and para position for this halochloride, it will degrade within 3 months. The microorganism can degrade this compound within 3 months. But okay, So what will happen? If this is the position of the chlorine atom in the meta position, if it is here or here, there is a big issue. It will not be degraded because there is a chlorine, there is a chlorine. This chlorine and this chlorine, the ortho and para position chlorine will be having a direct influence over the meta position. That will be blocked the degradation for the meta position. Okay, that is why the 2 and 4, 5 trichlorophenoxy acetic acid. Okay, 2,4-phenoxy acetic acid. That is known as 2,4,5-D. In the second position, fourth position, and fifth position, there is a chlorine residues. Okay, and this will be giving you. This will be giving you 2 to 3 years of time to degrade. Okay, that's what I told you. So the ortho and para meta will be having a high influence. Okay, the meta will be having the highest difficulty in removing the chlorine. Then comes ortho, then comes para. Meta, the meta position of the 6-membered ring, the chlorine atom, if it is present, then it is very, very difficult to remove this particular molecules. Okay, then comes ortho, then comes para. This is known as the meta effect of biodegradation of chlorides. Okay, that is very, very important. Then what are the role of microorganisms? How microorganisms are degrading? There are two important mechanisms. One is known as co-metabolism. Next one is known as gratuitous degradation or gratuitous metabolism. Okay, so here the xenobiotic compounds are degraded by the microorganism. Why they are degrading? They wanted to utilize these components as a source of energy and carbon, and they wanted to degrade. Okay, and what will happen is sometimes one particular bacteria or fungi or actinomyces cannot degrade the complete part of their complete metabolic product of metabolic complete pathway of the xenobiotic. So it requires the involvement of many bacteria together, and they will start degrading stepwise. Step number 1 will be degraded by first organism. Step number 2 will be degraded by the next organism. Step number 3 will be degraded by the next organism, and so on. They'll undergo a cooperative interactions. Okay, and they will degrade this component. That is known as co-metabolism, and they will metabolize everything. They will be metabolized. Okay, and depending on the presence of another compound which induces the necessary enzymes, and the metabolism of which provides both energy and reducing equivalent for the degradation of xenobiotic components. Okay, and the degradation of the xenobiotic components depends on the presence of a metabolism of a suitable substrate called co-metabolite. Okay, co-metabolite, that is known as the co-metabolism. I told you the importance of co-metabolites. Many bacteria, they are not able to degrade together by require a co-metabolite. Okay, so once the co-metabolism will be happening along with the another metabolite along with the multiple organism, they will be able to degrade the component very easily. That is known as co-metabolism. Then what do you mean by gratuitous degradation? Several xenobiotic components are degraded by an existing pathway and are used by microbes as a source of energy and reducing the equivalence. Okay, so many organisms, they are able to they able to come together and perform the degradation together, and they will be able to utilize, they will be able to get the benefit. Everything, all the organisms, they will be able to utilize by the cooperative interaction. The necessary enzymes are already induced by another components which is not needed as a co-metabolite here. Okay, and the xenobiotic degradation both by gratuitous and co-metabolisms are the very, very similar by the natural products. Okay, and the naturally how it is happening, the natural many organisms come closer, come together, and they perform a cooperation. They bind, so many organisms comes together and they produce several enzymes. Okay, one particular organism will be able to degrade one particular step of that pathway. Next organism will be able to degrade the next step of the pathway. The next organism will be able to degrade the next step of the pathway. And finally, what will happen? They will be able to degrade all organisms. They can apply the enzyme and they can degrade the components together. Okay, that is the mechanism of a rod. And here you can see, I told you this, everything is the enzymatic reaction. The major enzyme, they are performing the the degradation for this recalcitrant halocarbons are dehalogenases. Okay, removal of dehalogenases perform the removal of the main halogen, that is chlorine, iodine, or bromine, or fluorine. Okay, and they cleave the carbon halogen bond. The dehalogenases mainly cleaves the carbon halogen bonds. There are so many classes of dehalogenases. Okay, haloalkane dehalogenase, halocarboxylic acid halogenase, halohydrin dehalogenase, and chloroacrylic acid dehalogenase. Okay, so they will be having, depending upon the substrate, they will be performing one function. So which organisms? Say for example, Xanthobacter autotrophicus, they produces haloalkane dehalogenases. Similarly, the same Xanthobacter autotrophicus, the same organism, again able to produce halocarboxylic acid dehalogenases. Okay, the halohydrin dehalogenases that is produced by Agrobacterium radiobacter, soil bacteria. Okay, chloroacrylic acid dehalogenase that is produced by gram negative Pseudomonas cichori. Okay, so these are the major type of organism and their enzymatic roles. And there are several microorganisms in the halocarbon degradation they are involving. These are some of the examples. Okay, dichloromethane, that is done by the bacteria, that is hypomicrobium. Okay, 1,4-dichloroethane. Okay, Xanthobacter autotrophicus. Okay, 2-chloroethyl vinyl ester. Okay, Sansylbacter aquaticus. Okay, then 2-chloroethanol Pseudomonas, 1,6-dichlorohexane Rhodococcus. Okay, epichlorohydrin Agrobacterium radiobacter, 1-chloro-2,3-propionidiol Arthrobacter, 1,3-dichloropropene Pseudomonas pavotiaceans, then 1,2-dibromomethane Mycobacterium, then the chlorobenzene Pseudomonas, 1,2-dichlorobenzene, that is Pseudomonas. So you can see most of the cases, so many bacteria they are able to, this all the components are recalcitrant halocarbon. Everywhere you can see halogenated derivatives. Okay, halogenated derivatives, you can see that. Okay, so that is the importance of this particular degradation. Okay, then the next one is the nitroaromatic component. So nitroaromatic component, like we have discussed, instead of halogen, here the nitro group will be present. The nitroaromatic components are among the largest and most important groups of industrial chemicals that is currently used in the industry. Okay, so these compounds are organic molecule that consisting of at least one nitro group, NO2, okay, attached to an aromatic ring. That is a 6-membered ring, aromatic ring, and they will be having at least one nitro group. The strong electronegativity of the nitro groups, from the combined action of the 2 electron deficient oxygen atom bonded to the partially positive nitrogen atom. Okay, here you will be having the electron deficient oxygen, and they will be having the positively charged nitrogen. Okay, they will be having a strong electronegativity, and when attached to a benzene ring, I told you it's an aromatic component. When attached to a benzene ring, the nitro group is able to delocalize the pi electron. They can shift. Okay, because the doubly bonds are alternative double bonds are there. They can shift from the double bond from one portion to another portion and travel throughout the heterocyclic. Doubly bonded. Heterocyclic molecule, because the presence of the pi electrons, okay, of the ring, and which satisfy the that which stabilize the charge deficiency. Okay, so that is the important thing. And there are so many types of nitroaromatic component: 2-nitrophenol, 4-methyl 2-nitrophenol, 2-nitrotriosine, okay, then 1,3,5 trinitrobenzene or TNB, very common. 2,4,6 trinitrotoluene TNT, you can see everywhere. This is the nitro groups. Okay, like we have told, multiple position there in the ortho, meta, para position, they will be having chlorine. Here it is a nitrogen. Okay, nitrate. Okay, then tetryl nitramine. Okay, then picric acid and hexanitro-stilbene. Okay, then hexanitrobenzene. So these are the major types of nitroaromatic. You can, why it is known as nitroaromatic? You can see 6-membered ring, and there is a nitrate substituents as a side chain, as a functional group, okay, instead of a chlorine, okay, either in the ortho portion or in the meta portion or in the para portion, or they are substituents. And this is a very huge topic, the degradation of nitroaromatic components. I will be explaining by taking nitrophenol, the simplest example, nitrophenol degradation pathway microorganism. So here we are going to discuss. You don't worry about by seeing so many chemical structures. Very simple. Here, at least if you are able to understand, then you draw the structure, or you write the name of only the name of the component and the major microorganism. So here 2 nitrophenol and 3 nitrophenol and 2 chloro, 5 nitrophenol. Okay. So here you can see these 3 molecules, how it is degrading. Okay. This 2 nitrophenol, the appropriate in the presence of an aerobic microorganism, NADHPH will be released this nitrate. Okay. Nitrate group, and NADP will be produced. It converted into 2-benzoquinone. Okay. This nitro group will be removed, and here oxygen is added, and again the same process happens, and you can see both the portion hydrogen will be added, and this all converted into H. Then what will happen? You can see OH and OH in the both ortho and para portion. So here you can see catechol, and this catechol will be undergoing the beta keto adipate pathway, and they will enter and they will completely degrade actually. Then the second one, 3 nitrophenol. What is the difference? Only the portion. This is the second portion, nitrate group, and but here it is a the third portion. This is a meta portion. So the pathway is very, very complex. Okay, I told you in the meta portion something is happened. It will be very, very complex. Okay, so what will happen? The same process here. This converted into 3-hydroxylaminophenol. Okay, 3-hydroxylaminophenol that can be degraded into 1,2,3 trihydroxybenzene TNT or amino hydroxyquinone, any one, depending upon the which enzyme the microorganism is able to produce. And this will go to the ring, will be cleaved by ring cleavage. This one also, the ring will be cleaved, okay, and they will be completely entered into the other pathways, and they will be degrading. And next one here is a nitro compounds and a chlorine. Okay, both ortho portion there is a chlorine, and this is a meta portion there is a nitro group. Okay, it's very, very tough to degrade, and here you can see the same process. NADPH will convert into NAPDH, and this will be converted. What will happen? This NHNOH will become the meta portion, and there is a, instead of this NH, this will be coming, and nothing has happened to this chlorine. Okay, then 2-chloro-5-hydroxylaminophenol. Then you can see another hydroxyl groups have come here, and what will happen? This OH group has shifted to this particular region, NH2 here, and this will be coming here, 2-chloro-5-amino-hydroxyquinone, and again then what will happen? Presence of 2 OH group will be removed this hydroxyl group from this particular portion, and you will be having the amino hydroxyquinone. Okay, and this will be undergoing, both the things are amino hydroxyquinone, and that will be undergoing the ring cleavage, and that will be produced by the bacteria will be released a lot of enzyme, and that will be degraded completely. Then what are the microorganisms? Bacteria, they will be able to degrade the nitrophenol degradation. That is very, very important. Okay, the organisms such as Arthrobacter, Bacillus, Rhodococcus, Serratia, Pseudomonas, Moraxella, Nocardia, Commomona species. So many organisms, both gram positive, gram negative, and even actinomyces also will be playing a very, very vital role. Both Cocci and Bacilli, they will be performing a very important role, because they will be able to produce various enzymes. That enzyme will be degrading all these components. Okay, nitrophenol, whether it is 2 nitrophenol or 3 nitrophenol or chlorine substituted nitrophenol. Okay, so this is all about the degradation of nitroaromatic components. Okay, then we will conclude today's class. We have discussed what do you mean by recalcitrant component. We have introduced, okay, why these xenobiotics, what is the reason for xenobiotic can call it as a recalcitrant, the persistent pollutant in the world. We have discussed what are the major types of recalcitrant xenobiotic. We have discussed what are the structural features of recalcitrant that will be giving the resistance to the microbial degradation. We have discussed the recalcitrant halocarbons. We have discussed what are the classifications of recalcitrant halocarbon. Recalcitrant halocarbons are the first topic. We have discussed the classification, the microbial degradation of halocarbon, the mechanism of halocarbon degradation, dehalogenation, okay, fragmentation, mineralization, etc. Then the mechanism of biodegradation of halogenated hydrocarbons by aerobic degradation, the 4 different steps we have discussed. Okay, aerobic degradation of halogenated aromatic components we have discussed. Then the meta effect of ortho, meta, para portion. What is the relevance? Meta will be having the highest. If the halogenated compounds are in the meta position, then it is very difficult to degrade than ortho and para portion. We have discussed. What is the role of microorganism? The mechanism, co-metabolism and gratuitous degradation. Both the things we have discussed. What are the major enzymes and how? What are the major classes? Main enzymes are the dehalogenases. There are 4 classes of dehalogenases. And the organism that produces these dehalogenases we have discussed. Then the major microorganism, the halocarbon degradation. What are the major halocarbons and what are the major bacteria or other microorganisms that produces that gives a significant result. The major types of nitroaromatic components. Okay, the major types of nitroaromatic components and the degradation of nitroaromatic components by taking nitrophenol as a typical example. So these are the major concepts mentioned in this particular topic. What are these topics? Recalcitrant halocarbons and nitroaromatic components and their microbial degradation. So these are the reference book as we have discussed in the previous class. Okay, and thank you very much for listening to this particular class. If you are having any clarification, you can mail me or you can ask me. Okay, this is very important. Understand the mechanism, dear students. Okay, have a great day. Take care.